Hello, and welcome to Home-Based Business 101. This is the course that's going to help you to select, start, and succeed in your own home business. I'm so excited that you're here today and that you've taken the time to spend a little bit of time with me. I'm going to introduce myself to you here in just a moment, but I just want to say thanks for being here and thanks so much for your interest in changing your life through home-based business. Before we get started, though, I do want to remind you to turn off your cell phones, shut down your Facebook, any extra tabs, because if you're really ready to make a full-time income from home, the information I'm going to share with you today really can change your life. And the good news is there isn't anything here for you to buy. If you like what I talk about, if you like what we share with you in the next 30 minutes, you can book a call to speak with us, get more questions answered, and move forward if we're a fit for one another. So there are more people than ever who want to start a business from home. The pandemic has absolutely shown you how vulnerable you are financially. I know that my husband and I earn an income in 5 different ways, and overnight, the pandemic took us down to one way where we were earning an income. Thankfully, we were able to bounce back from that, but I'm sure you have a similar story. Your family needs 2, if not more than 2 incomes to make it work. This is a double income situation that we are living in right now, whether you're a single adult, whether you are married or have a significant other, having more than one stream of income is really a requirement these days. And working a side job doesn't have the income potential that really running a side gig well does. And job security, absolutely out the window. We all know that that is absolutely fragile. And that's probably why you're here, because you're looking for a way to earn money from home. Home-based business really is for you if you're willing to learn, if you see the value in creating your own income stream and you understand that there's going to be work involved, if you know that it's going to take time and patience to succeed, but you're ready to create freedom, financial and otherwise, for you and your family. I'm going to tell you straight out too that home-based business isn't for you if you want to work for somebody else or you're just looking for a job, because being an entrepreneur and starting something on your own requires a different skill set than just showing up at work and punching the clock each day. If you don't want to put in the time and effort to build something that is your own and that has a lasting income, then it probably isn't for you either. You've got to be willing to be coachable and you've got to be willing to learn. You're going to fail forward, absolutely. But if you can plug into education and you can plug into the idea of learning, you'll do just fine. If you're looking for fast and easy cash, I would also say, you know what, if that was out there and that was possible, everybody would be doing it. You're here because you want to start a legit business from home and you're trying to figure out exactly what that might look like. This course is a great fit for you if you want to build that successful business from home, if you need help sorting through all the options. I know when I first started looking at working from home almost 10 years ago, there were so many different ways that I could have gone. And I looked for help in sorting it all out and I didn't really find any. And that's where this course came from my desire to help people like you find their way through this environment and figure out what they can do from home that brings them joy and helps them earn some money. So if you want some help figuring out what's best for you, and you also want a solid plan, I'm going to walk through 4 pillars later in the presentation today that are really going to help you make sure that you lay the groundwork for success in the future. So who am I? Well, I'm Meredith Banka, and I have spent more than 20 years creating smart, effective ways for businesses to grow. I spent about 13 years in corporate marketing. I actually walked away from that job after the birth of our son in 2012 to focus on our kids, and I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I had a great job. I had a great salary. I worked in the travel industry, so I got to go to a lot of really great places. But I was also cranking out 70-hour work weeks on the regular and trying to be a mom at the same time, and it just wasn't working. So I walked away and quickly figured out that I wanted to be able to earn an income from home without giving up the freedom I had come to enjoy. So that's where my entrepreneurial journey really started. 4 successful startups later, I now focus my time on helping people like you figure out how to take the best of traditional marketing, apply it online, and how to launch successful businesses from home. I created a vision for myself to help as many people as possible step into successful home business ownership, because I really, truly believe that it isn't education, it is entrepreneurship that is going to carry families forward in a different way in this century, that entrepreneurs are going to be the ones that are leading forward when it comes to social change and social impact. And I want to help you be able to do that. So imagine if you were able to make your own schedule. These are all the things that you want, right? Spend more time with your family, pay off those bills, save some money, maybe travel when we're able to do that again. What if you had a growing home-based business that was going to provide all of that for you? I quickly want to talk about the cash flow quadrant. This came from Robert Kiyosaki. He's the guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And this was a big learning for me, moving from employee to watching my husband open his own business, but becoming self-employed, which he was really just having a job that he owned. And then us really over the last 10 years, stepping into the other side of this quadrant where we have become business owners, where we have systems in place now, again, in 5 different ways that we're able to earn an income in 5 different businesses, all because we figured out how to move from the left-hand side of this diagram to the right-hand side. And that's really where you get the freedom. Self-employment itself, maybe it's going to give you a little bit of freedom, but it's definitely not going to create the residual income and the long-term revenues that you're probably looking for. And once you're able to do that, then you become an investor and you can make that money that you are earning work for you. So our job here is to move you from the left-hand side of the cash flow quadrant to the right-hand side by helping you step into business ownership. So let's talk a little bit about the types of home-based business. There's online retail. I'm just going to go through about 5 different types of online businesses, from home businesses, that you might see out there and touch on some of the pros and cons of each. You might be a maker. You might have some inventory to sell. You might have current clients. These are good things for you if you're wanting to step into online retail. The pros, it's super easy to pop up an Etsy shop or to start reselling on eBay. There's some systems there that are done for you. But it is a crowded space. You do, in some cases, need to have inventory or materials to make your from raw goods into your finished production. You're probably going to have to manage shipping, and you're probably going to have to manage all of your own customers, which are just some considerations to have if you're going into online retail. Now, what about affiliate sales? Affiliate sales are maybe where you are going to get a small affiliate commission for pushing people through to the end seller's website. So if you have a blog or you have a website, you put the links up there, you use social media, you put the links in your profile, people click through. If they buy, then you get paid a little commission. This can be quick commissions. It can be a great way to earn some income. You set it up one time. You have very little service to the end user because they're just clicking through from wherever on your website. The cons is that it really is a volume game. Affiliate sales typically play a pretty low percentage, and you're probably going to need some social media and website or blogging know-how to be able to make this work. My big caution here is that this actually is not a business. It is an income stream because you are not in control of the affiliate's agreement with you. They are actually in control. And if they change their mind at any minute, then your commissions are just going to evaporate. So this could be good for you if you've got a good following already. If you're looking for an income stream, maybe on top of a business that you already run, this could be really great for you. Or again, like I said, if you're looking for that 3rd or 4th income stream. Then we've got something that's become very popular over the last 10 years or so, content marketing. It can be super lucrative, very, very scalable because the content that you create can actually be placed in multiple platforms. We hear about all of these young girls, becoming famous overnight for dancing on TikTok, and all of a sudden they've got brands and they've got makeup and they've got shows and they've got this and they've got that. The con here is that it's hard to get noticed. There isn't really necessarily rhyme or reason to why Charli D'Amelio is, so famous, why she and her sister were the ones that happened to be, TikTok famous and now living a millionaire lifestyle. So you can't necessarily manufacture that for yourself. Sometimes it really is just luck and then a very strong business strategy on top of that. So this can be a slow build for you, and it can be filled with a lot of trial and error. So if you already, again, have that significant following, this content marketing platform could be a good idea for you, especially if you combine this with affiliate sales and you leverage that audience that you've got into actually monetizing it some way. And if you're also willing to be patient, use that trial and error. And if you've got time to do that, it could be a good fit for you. Now, direct sales has been around for a long time. Think of these as like your party plan companies. You go over to a friend's house and you see the catalog back in the day and you choose your Christmas presents or, presents for the spring or whatever it may be. Well, in the last couple of years, and in particular with the pandemic, we have seen direct sales businesses really get successful online. These are awesome opportunities for you to start up a business from home because so much of the business is already done for you. It is a small startup cost. They usually have pretty good products and they provide training. The cons are that you often have to carry inventory, and that if you're going to use social media, you really have to hustle. You really have to put yourself out there. You've got to be posting, you've got to be sharing. And oftentimes these are low commission products that are discretionary, and they also don't usually tend to be products that are consumable. These tend to be products that people kind of buy here and there a couple times a year. And so you're going to be building a business that isn't necessarily residual, but one where you're continually fishing for new customers. So if you like the hustle, if you like posting, if you're just super passionate about a product line and you want to get it out there and you want to promote a product, then this could be an incredibly good fit for you. Also great if you like to manage one-on-one relationships. And it could be great too if you already have a business and you can just bring in one of these product lines to further monetize and create more income. So knowledge-based businesses, these are also growing exponentially right now because we're seeing so many people who have specific knowledge and expertise that they're putting into courses and coaching programs, and then being able to sell those online for relatively inexpensive for the purchaser, but great revenue opportunity for the person that creates the content in the business. Here, you're really leveraging some type of expertise that you have. So if you're a subject matter expert, this is a great fit. If you've got something you want to share, a course that you've been thinking of, then it can be fantastic for you. Getting it started, building the course, building the technology background is not expensive, and it can really stand out because it's unique to you. Plus, it's growing in popularity, but it is a crowded space. So you do need to think about how you're going to differentiate yourself. And you do have to build all of this from scratch, your program, whatever that might be, your members area, if you're doing a subscription. So this might be for you, again, if you have a course that's burning inside of you and you want to get that out there, or you want to start coaching people based on your unique experience. If you want to do something that's very client-based, and if you have unique content, if you have an experience or education to share, this could be a great fit for you. Last up is the idea of network marketing, a little bit different than direct sales because network marketing also has a small startup, usually has very great products, typically pays a higher commission than direct sales. This is actually a business that you own, so it's willable and sellable, and training is provided. Cons are that sometimes people think that network marketing is a pyramid scheme, but remember, those are actually illegal. And it does have that selling to the friends and family type reputation. Although nowadays, many successful network marketers have figured out a way to take their businesses online completely without relying on friends and family in order to build it. This truly is one of the most unique ways to create a residual income because the products that we see with these organizations are typically on subscription. So things that people want every single month, whether that be skincare or whether that be vitamins, whether that's their cell phone, whether that's anything that they may be ordering for their children. Subscriptions are great. And I think that the pandemic has increased their popularity. So if you want to build a business, if you want to leverage a team model, meaning that it's kind of everyone in together, able to build something collectively that creates a source of income for many, then this could be a great fit for you as well. And if you're also desiring to build your business, not only online, but also in person. So now let's cover on the 4 must-have pillars of a successful home-based business. No matter what you decide to do, whether it fits into one of the 5 categories I've just gone through, or you have your own idea that's outside of that, I'm going to argue that these are the 4 things that you absolutely have to have if you're going to succeed. The first one is your product. You have to promote high-value, high-demand products that change people's lives. The reason is that we're in a relationship economy. We've moved out of a transaction economy. People want to know who they're doing business with. They want to trust them, and they really want to feel that they are valued. And Target and Walmart and Costco, those are all competing on price. And as a small business owner from home, you're not going to highly likely be able to compete on price with the big box stores. So you have to recognize that having a high value product is going to allow you to develop a business that's based in relationships. Your product also needs to be based in actual results, not hype. Your own personal experience, your own story around why you are making or selling or offering a service that you are is critical. It's got to be desirable. And I would also argue that it's consumable. If you have something that people are going to want to buy again and again from a home business standpoint, because you don't have a billboard out there, you don't have a storefront, you don't have, a bus stop that people are driving by and seeing your advertising, you're really starting your business from home and mainly online. If you've got something that people want to buy frequently, then it's going to make it easier for you to create that revenue over time. And also the value that your product or service offers, it must be felt, and you must market it in a way where people are going to identify that you have something that is going to help them solve a pretty deep problem that they're looking to solve in their lives. If you don't have a standout product, here's what might happen. You risk just being a Me Too brand, and that's where you end up competing on price, and that's a losing battle for a small business. With you competing with those big box stores, you will never win. They will always be able to underprice you and over advertise you. So that means you're constantly going to be hustling for new clients, and that gets old pretty quick. And people will also leave for the next best thing. If you haven't instilled that value and shown them true results that they can feel and really internalize, then they're just going to be very fleeting, and you're going to have a hard time retaining the customers you do get. The second pillar is partnership. You've got to have strong partners with high integrity, big vision, personal mentorship, training, and coaching. So training, if you look at your business and what you're thinking of starting, do you have partners or individuals that are going to give you the training to help you get where you need to be? Do you also have the technology? Who are your technology partners going to be? Is it reasonably priced? Can you get the help that you need if you're not a tech superstar? Are your partners also forward-looking? If it's an area that you don't have expertise in, make sure you're partnering with someone that's smarter than you are, that can stay on top of the environment as it changes. I'm thinking about social media and how quickly that changes. It's not a surprise. I outsource all of my social media because it's just simply moving too quickly. And I want somebody who's really an expert in that area to be able to help me. And I also make sure that my partners have integrity. Do they have my best mindset forward, my best interests forward, or are their intentions really not as clear as I thought they were when I first started working with them? You've got to answer that question for yourself. Are your partners really, really strong? Without these solid partners, here are the pitfalls that you might find yourself facing. You're building on a weak foundation, and this is your baby. You're going to spend your spare time, maybe your full time building this business. You want to make sure that you're building it with people that you can trust, and also that the foundation of what you build is going to be lasting over time. You might be taking some unnecessary risk. You might have to personally fill in the gaps, which is going to take you away from doing the important work you need to do. Your costs are probably going to be higher, and your personal reputation is at risk. And in an online world, that's pretty dangerous. So pillar number 3, superb marketing. To make a full-time income from home, you need high converting marketing and sales. Let's face it, as a small home-based business owner, you are a little fish in a big sea. So you have to make sure that whatever marketing you're doing really is attracting the right people, that it's based on results and not hype. So you can't put out there things that aren't true. You can't put out there things that you can't back up. You need to put out information and marketing that is going to help your ideal client say, hey, wait a minute, she's got something that I'm really interested in because it helps me solve a problem. That's where you get the opportunity to be engaging and helpful. And this is what can set you apart, which is why it's good to be a small fish in that big sea, because you have the opportunity to really engage with your audience, to be helpful, to serve them. But you've got to be visible in order to do that. So you need to be putting together a marketing plan that is actually taking the core values of what you're creating, putting them out there in a way that is attracting your right client and creating visibility for you long term. A little bit more on marketing. And this is really where my expertise of spending, 20 plus years in sales and marketing on the corporate side comes in, you have to have a plan. If you're just kind of going off the hip, spaghetti at the wall, those kinds of efforts, they're not going to gain you the long-term results that you are looking for at all. You've got to dedicate yourself to becoming a student of sales and marketing, to having a strategic plan, to reviewing it frequently, to getting help from experts who are going to be better at you and are going to better than you at these tasks that you need done in your business. They're going to help you move your business forward more quickly so that you can do the part of your business that you are the most passionate about. And I can't say it enough. You must be visible and seen as a leader if you are going to win as a small business. Without the right promotion, without great marketing, you're going to be invisible online. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to have said, well, I built my course, or I launched my Etsy store, I did this, or I did that. No one's coming to it. Well, people aren't just going to automatically find you online and your business is going to grow just because you built a website or started a funnel or, made some great earrings and took pictures of them and put them online. You actually have to do the work to create a reputation and authority for yourself online. And without proper promotion, that's not going to happen. You're not going to attract the right people, and your results are going to really be lackluster. I see a lot of small business owners who are working from home that are barely breaking even. They're barely covering their costs, if not at all. They're going into the hole every month. And it's largely because they haven't been strategic about the marketing that they put together. And how would they know how to do that? Most people don't come to home business with a marketing background. Most people are in home business and starting something because a relative somewhere said, oh my gosh, you'd be great at that. Or I love your brownies, or your earrings are, beautiful. You should make those and sell them online. So if you're kind of that accidental business owner, don't blame yourself. Get the help that you need in order to learn how to be a student of marketing and sales so that you can actually grow your business from home. If you don't, your revenue is going to suffer and you're not going to have that growing and thriving business that you're looking for. Okay, last pillar is systems. You've got to have systems for communication, sales, and follow-ups. Most people buy after 7 to 10 exposures to a product or service. So you've got to buy into the idea that you are going to collect emails, that you're going to have an environment where you can manage relationships with people, whether that be through a Facebook group, whether that be online, whether that's on your Instagram, through TikTok, whatever it's going to be. You've got to decide, number one, I'm going to have a system that allows me to track the people who have come and taken a look at what I do, and I'm going to put in place a system that lets me communicate with them on the regular. Most business owners only follow up a couple of times. 2 is actually the average. But check it out. Most people aren't buying until they've seen or looked for something 7 to 10 times. So do you see how those two things aren't aligned? So you need to use systems that are going to automate some of this for you, because otherwise, as a small business owner, you get exhausted pretty quickly. So your ability to communicate and follow up is going to determine your success, and your ability to automate your communication, sales, and follow up from the get-go is absolutely imperative. A little bit more on this. So you might be saying to yourself, well, Meredith, what systems do I need and where would I get them? And there's so many out there. True, so true. So many different ways to build websites, so many different ways to capture people's information and to communicate with them regularly. So how do you know which ones to pick? Well, first of all, you need to just commit to the systems that you are going to need. And these are the main systems that I believe you've got to have if you're going to play big, if you're going to actually work to your potential. These are not a luxury. They truly are a necessity. So a website, that's like, having a business without a website today is like having a business without it being in the phone book in the 80s, right? Every business everywhere was in the phone book in the 80s because that's how people found you. Well, today, everyone is going to find you if you have a website. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be complicated, but you really do need to have one. You've got to have a way to capture people's information and follow up with them. You probably are going to need to have some kind of calendar if you want people to book with you for questions, for information, for follow-up, for training. That will depend on what your business is all about, but it's not a bad idea to have an electronic calendar. You've got to have professional email, text, and talk capability. This does not mean running your business from a Yahoo or Gmail account. This means setting it up like a real business, having a real URL, having a real domain, and a leverage system that you can use to communicate with people on the regular. And you've also got to be able to manage social media. These are the things where you must be. And if you don't know how to do these, then these are the areas where you're going to need to say to yourself, okay, how do I get help? And who's the best to be able to do that for me? Without these kinds of systems, I will say that you're going to struggle to be consistent. You're going to end up with Post-it notes at the bottom of your handbag and a whole stack of business cards and to-do list on Post-it notes stuck all over your office. Organization will evade you if you are not using a system. And because of that, you will leave money on the table because there's just no way that you're going to be able to keep everything that you have going on in your business organized in your head. You've got to have a system. Retaining customers and team members is going to be hard because if you aren't organized and you're not intentional with the work that you're doing, how can you possibly do that for other people? And that just leads you to kind of being stuck where you are in that low revenue, low mindset area where you really feel like you're working towards a dream, but you actually find that you're just really not happy doing what you're doing. And I don't want that to happen for any of you. So systems are imperative in building a successful business from home. So last thing is, how do you know how to pick what's right for you? So we've talked about the 5 types of home-based business. We've talked about the 4 pillars that every home-based business has to have in order to be successful. How are you to know what the next step is for you? Well, here's some helpful things that I would suggest that you do. Number 1, just get real honest with yourself really fast. Ask yourself, how much time is this going to take? And do I have that time? Can I make my own hours? Is my life flexible enough to allow for this? Where is it going to fit in? Do I need a training or certification in order for this to work? Do I need something that I'm going to have to go and get a lesson or pass a test or, something along those lines? Ask yourself this too. Am I better working alone or am I better working in a group? Because that's going to determine the type of business you put together. What are the costs? I can't stress enough. Run some financials. Like I said earlier, so many people say, oh, I just love those earrings that you made. They're beautiful. You should make those and sell them online. And the next thing you know, you've gone out and you've dropped $1,000 on all the supplies and you've worked so hard building up all this inventory and making all of these things. And you put it up online and Facebook Marketplace and Etsy and Pinterest, and you're busy taking pictures and posting and doing all of this. And you never took the time to run some financials to see what was possible out there. And you may never have looked at the competition either to see what else is going on in the marketplace, which I don't even think that's in this list, but I would add it, which is who else is doing what it is you want to do. Find somebody that's succeeding and figure out what they did to get where they are. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and it's okay to follow in somebody else's footsteps. Do you need to be a tech superstar? Are you setting yourself up in a business where you're going to need a lot of technology? And if you are you willing to learn that? Or do you have the financial resources to pay to have somebody help you? What's the growth potential? How big can this get? And more importantly, how big do you want it to get? How hard do you want to work? Is your market saturated? How many other people are going to be doing what you're doing? And how are you going to do it differently? What are your keys for standing out in this very, very noisy, very, very crowded space that you're about to enter into? And I fully believe it's still entirely possible to stand out. That starts with a great message, a great values, great mission, and a great marketing plan. And last up, how quickly can I get started? Is this something that you're looking to do right now? Is it something that you have some time to plan? Are you really desperate for some extra cash and you've got to get this going? Or do you have some little bit more opportunity to put a few things together and you want to launch this further into the future? Either way, all that's going to do is determine your timeline and how hard you need to work right now in the present moment to get these important questions answered. So I just also want to let you know, I have been where you are. I was searching for a solid opportunity. I wanted to work part-time on the side. I wanted freedom and flexibility. I'd been at home with my kids for a couple of years. And I didn't want to go back to the corporate world. I wanted something that was simple and low risk, not really, really complicated. And I wanted something that I could stand behind, that I knew had a lot of integrity. And you're probably searching for these same kinds of things. So how can I help you? Well, the first option is if you have a business idea that you're 100% committed to, then I can help you to build that business. I can help you to develop a customized plan for the successful launch or relaunch of your business or project. Now, if you're like me, a few years ago, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to build. And there weren't a lot of people out there who could help me sort through the options and figure out what was best for me, or who had ideas and could offer me an opportunity for something that I could do. So if you're looking for a solid, reputable online business that you can grow from anywhere, you would be an option too. And you can build that along with me, because I can show you the exact system that I'm using to help people earn an income from home. I build and train teams globally with this model. And if you're out there saying to yourself, I'm not sure what I want to do, I would really like to find a business that I can do from home, then option 2 is probably the best for you. Either way, I'm offering you the opportunity to book a breakthrough strategy call with me. It's totally free. You can learn more on the call. You can ask me questions. I'll go through an onboarding process with you to ask you some questions. And the goal of the call is to really help provide you with clarity on what your next moves are going to be, because I really feel like the more people that we can help step into home-based business, the more revenue that we can create for our families. That changes our lives, which changes our community and really helps us to uplift everyone in our lives and that we choose to do business with. So it's really easy to go ahead and book that breakthrough strategy session. All you've got to do is click the button that's right here below this video. It'll take you through to my calendar. Pick a date and time that works for you. Make sure that you're serious about booking that call, if you would, please, because your time is valuable and so is mine. So if what I've shared with you makes sense and you'd like help figuring out your next step, then I would say go ahead and book that call. You'll get a confirmation email and text message from me. We can catch up during the discovery session and get to know each other a little bit better. But for now, I hope you've learned a lot here in Home-Based Business 101. And until I see you or hear from you the next time, take care.